Hey guys, what's up? Bargain Hobo here. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope it's a joyous time for you. Time with friends and family, and of course, time for cookies. You know, there's just so many great cookies. You got chocolate chip, you got peanut butter, snickerdoodle, sugar cookies, but especially relevant this time of year, gingerbread. Today, we're looking at a game focused entirely on Gingerbread Man. We're looking at Ninjabread Man on the Wii. Now, the more observant you might see, hey, that's the PAL version. Is there an American version? Yes, there's an American version. I just happen to own the PAL version this time because I got this while on vacation in Scotland. Cool? Cool. Now, if you're savvy with internet reviews about video games, you already know this game's unsavory reputation. But you know what? All games are innocent until proven guilty around here. So will this be a sweet treat, or will we just have to throw this cookie out? Let's find out. It's time to hobo up!
The story for Ninjabread Man, isn't. There's no story. You're never told what's going on or why, other than some blurb about saving Candyland on the back of the box, but saving it from what? The game doesn't bother to tell you, so screw it, let's just move on. Gameplay for Ninjabread Man is a 3D platformer. As the titular pastry hero, you go around collecting power rods to power the teleporters. Yeah, that's literally all you do, and the cracks in the dough start to form very quickly. First, let's talk controls. They are nigh unresponsive. Swinging your sword is assigned to shaking the Wii remote, which makes sense, a lot of Wii games do that, and I don't mind as long as it's responsive. However, you can shake that Wii remote 20 times, and Ninjabread Man will only swing his sword about 5 times, if you're lucky. Enemies are lethal on contact, and your primary means of attack is unreliable. So, what else can you do? Well, you've also got a projectile. You point your Wii remote at the screen and press the B button to tell the game you want to throw a projectile. A cursor appears on screen, and this cursor is awful at following your pointing. It jitters all over the screen before finally highlighting an enemy. Once you've highlighted one, the cursor will not come off it until you've killed it, and the camera won't get off it either. Look here, I hit this enemy a few times with projectiles and knocked it down. I tried to move on, but when the camera swung around and focused on the enemy that I knocked down and wouldn't move even when I tried to move it, and I wound up falling off the platform. So I had to kill it just to kind of control the camera again. Speaking of camera controls, they're awful. You have pretty much no control over it barring pressing down on the D-pad to bring it back behind you, or pressing up to zoom in or out. When the aiming cursor is out, it spins the camera, and I found myself waggling the Wii remote like a doofus just to swing my sword and make the cursor go away. Now with how frustrating combat is, why should you even bother taking out enemies? Well, I'll tell you why you should. For every enemy you defeat, you gain a little notch on this little meter down here. This shows how powerful your shots are, and max power they can basically one-shot most anything. However, taking damage lowers the meter, so watch out for that. Also, jumping. You can either flick the nunchuck upwards to jump and do it again while still in the air double jump, or you could just press Z. I know which one I prefer. And they couldn't move the sword attack onto a button. Why? There are multiple, and I mean multiple unused buttons here, and you're telling me they didn't think to put the sword attack on any of them? That's a load of crap if you ask me. The Z button to jump isn't perfect either, but it's way easier than trying to move while jiggling the controller around. Now, let's shift gears and talk about what you can collect in this game. I already mentioned the power rods, but there's more, albeit not much more. Most enemies drop hearts when they're defeated. By default, your health meter is half full, but you can collect more by getting hearts. If you collect the max amount and then one more, you get a 1-up, but your health meters are set to half. I mean, how stupid is that? You're basically being both rewarded and punished for picking up health. But you need to get those extra lives. Also, you can grab these big purple things. I think they're either jawbreakers or gumballs, but either way, those are the checkpoints. Enemies are just ambling around, but some of them are worse than others. There are 4 types. The small cupcakes, the larger jellies, the cakes that can shoot at you, and lastly the bees. These, by far, are the worst enemies in the game. They fly at you, and if you try and shoot them when they're too close, too far away, your shot breaks and zips around, leaving you vulnerable to take extra damage. I never bother to swat the bees with my sword because why would I? By the time the thing registers, the bee will be out of melee range. Platforming is a nightmare because the detection for whether or not you land on a platform properly, not that great. Sometimes you'll land on the platform and can move on. Other times you'll just hang on the edge and can't jump again. You have to move off or jump back up and try again. And if there's a hazard under you, you're gonna take damage.
Man, this game's kicking my butt. Hold on, I need to phone a friend here, one sec.
Finally, after months of therapy, I am finally over the Billy the Wizard debacle. My friends have all forgiven me, so I can finally move on. Oh, got a phone call. It's from the Bargain Bin Hobo. Hello?
Hey J-Chip, how's it going, man? Merry Christmas.
Hey buddy, Merry Christmas.
I just really need your help on this game. Can you help me with this?
Yeah, sure. Which game?
Ninjabread, man.
Now, Bargain Bin, you remember what happened last time when I tried to ask you for help for a game. And how ironic. Both games are made by the same company.
So, is that a no?
No, it's a...
Okay, I deserve that one. Well, never mind, guys. We're on our own here.
So when I first started playing, I tried just ignoring the enemies. I mean, attacking them was a huge chore, so why would I even bother? I'll tell you why I would bother, because they killed me. So, it's in your best interest to kill the enemies. Not just for the stronger projectile, but so you can search for the power rods in peace. But you don't even have to look all that hard. You have an arrow constantly pointing in the direction you should be heading in. Oftentimes it's kind of hard to tell exactly where it's pointing, but personally, I'd rather not have it at all. Unfortunately, you can't turn it off. Off the top of my head, I can only recall one instance where the level design was kinda creative. In the second level, there's this colorful patch of ground, and there's a hole in front of it. Turns out, this is a magical patch of ground, because only certain squares of it are solid. Touch any other square and you go down into the jam, or soda, or frosting, or whatever this red liquid is. The path isn't that hard to learn once you take the time to really look at it, and then you have to remember it in reverse so you can go back without taking arbitrary damage. But I just jumped across and I was fine. Now, how many levels do you think there are in this game? Well, I'll tell you. There are 3. 4 if you count the tutorial. And the levels aren't all that big, which means you can finish this game in under an hour. Yep, you could buy this game, take it home, and finish it in less time than it took you to drive home from the game store. There's barely any game in this game. Oh, but do you get anything for finishing? Actually, yes. Yes, you do. You get 2 extra modes in each level that just scatter trinkets everywhere for you to collect. And it doesn't add anything to the experience. You don't even get an ending, not a text ending or anything like that. The game just stops. Look, a small team clearly threw this together in a short amount of time. No story, vapid gameplay, glitches all over the place, very little creativity. This game just... You know what? I have no words. Presentation doesn't have much going for it either. The music is just kinda there. Nothing particularly bad, but also nothing memorable. There is minimal voice acting, so I'm not even going to comment on that. And the levels are all cookie and candy themed. All of them use similar elements, so the levels just kind of blend together. Here, I'll put all 3 levels on the screen real quick here. There are some differences between them, but they all just look so similar. And then look at this. This huge, gaping hole in the level. Most games would have corrected this so you wouldn't see it. They had to have noticed that. It's obvious there's a sword on our hero's back, but they either couldn't or wouldn't fix it. This is the kind of game people associate with the Wii. Just complete utter shovelware garbage. I guess time to put the lid on this box of cookies.
So, that's Ninjabread Man. How is it? Look and see. How's the gameplay? It's abysmal. Just a generic platformer that does everything wrong. The controls don't work. Enemies are all but brain dead except for a couple that just hone in on you. There's very little game here. There's like 4 levels. If you count tutorial, you can finish this game in less than an hour. I don't think of one nice thing to say about this game. I just can't. This game just doesn't deserve any praise whatsoever. How's it look and sound? Not a whole lot better. There really just aren't a whole lot of good songs. The songs are there, but they just don't stand out. They're not terrible, but they're not really that good either. And, the level design is just haphazardly shoved together with just so many recurring themes. They blend together and just... Guys, I have basically nothing good to say about this game. Sounds bad, trick. Extra large, guys. So, that's the note we close the year out on, huh? It's a shame. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video more than I did playing this game. And if you did, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. And there's still time to ask a question. If you have a question for me, I'll link to the question video in the description. Now come back next year when we try to do a refresh on this channel. Until then, this is the Bargain Hobo saying be brave, dare to play. Happy holidays, and I'll see you guys next year. Hobo out!